So let's
Hi,
see.
hi.
I'm sharing. Can you see it? Hello?
Yeah, I can see. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna start from beginning, and that's it.
Okay.
Let me see, next slide. Next slide.
Yep, okay.
And I hit the slides that I don't need.
Perfect.
So that's it. It just will alleviate one more step for you.
Great. Okay, great.
And you do what, the Mishabir chat, and
Yep.
and if somebody, gets very loud, you can mute them, something like that. Should I just leave it like that?
Sure.
Okay. And then during your Torah study, I have a picture, so I just leave the picture, right?
Perfect.
Hi.
Hi, Shelley. Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Shelly. You need to unmute yourself. We can hear you.
No, but we want everybody, after we get started, muted.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, she's talking, but we can't hear her.
Right. You got to hold down your space bar, Shelley, while you're talking. Unless you're on your phone. Here, let me hold on 1 second. 1 second. Okay, go ahead, Shelley.
I'm on my phone.
Okay, you're unmuted for now.
Oh God, I tell you, I'm not very good with this. I'll listen.
Just give a wave when you or you can put your hand up when you want to talk. Hi, Carol. Good to have you on.
Hi, Carol. So everybody is muted now, right, Robin?
I think so.
So we can maybe unmute to say people can say hello.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know that I can do that. Hold on 1 second. Here, okay, yeah, I can. Okay, everybody's unmuted right now for a couple minutes.
Hi, Carol. How are you? Shelly, how's everything?
Good, but I missed Torah study this morning. I overslept. We saw a double feature last night, and it ended very late, and I slept right through it. I feel badly about that. Was there a good group at Torah study? Anyone?
There always is. There always is. Yeah, it was a nice group. We had a good conversation. We got through to the end of chapter 18, but with more discussion to come next week. I think there will be a recap for the last couple of verses, which were good and interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Are you well? You sound well, so that's good.
Yeah. Thank God. How about you?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, we're hanging in. Allison and Charlie and I.
Good. Are you all together?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Can't stay with them.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Good. Shabbat shalom, Esther. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Cantor.
Nice to see you. Shelly, that's so nice of your children that took you. That's the best. Shelly, can you hear me? I said it's nice that you stand with your family. It's wonderful. Well, I think she's trying to.
There she is.
Here I am. Now, can you all see each other?
Yes.
How am I not doing that? Well, it's okay. Whatever.
Do you have your video turned on?
I said, oh, should I turn it off?
On.
I have it on.
Okay.
I have joined with video.
Good.
We can see you. We can see you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You
It's
cannot
good
see
Dean,
You cannot see us?
no.
Hmm.
No, I don't know why. It says video preview at the top of my screen. Always show video preview dialog when joining video meeting. Okay, that's on. Oh, well.
No, so maybe we should hook you up with our Zoom specialist.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we see you, Shelley.
Okay. Maybe it's better if you didn't see me.
No, it's all good. It's one of the things that helps us to be able to do, where we can't always hear one another right now because we have to sadly mute each other because of the feedback. It's good to see people's faces and their smiles and get a sense of community like that too. So I'm always happy to see you.
Thank you. How many people are there?
7.
Well, we have
Ah.
seven logins. Some, we don't know.
I bet you'll get more.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, last night was 81 login,
Oh, how fantastic.
so I probably doubled that.
And we didn't even feed anybody.
That's Liz, right?
Not literally, but religiously, spiritually, figuratively, we sure did.
Right you are, right you are.
I don't hear Ellen. Is Ellen there?
No.
Rebecca, how are you?
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Hi, Rebecca.
How are you there in the front?
It's there's definitely something new happening each day. I gotta say that. We're trying to figure out a way that we don't have everybody on site all at once.
Yeah,
We can preserve our forces.
yeah.
Well, thanks for everything you do.
All right, I'm going to, just as we get started, I'm going to mute everybody. And toward the end, we'll unmute everybody. And if you need anything along the way, you can ask in the chat box. So you will find if you, you will find if you're on a computer, if you take your cursor and you hover over the top or the bottom of your screen, you should eventually find a little kind of, looks like a thought bubble, a little, I don't know how to say, like a little, when cartoon characters are talking, right? Kind of their little talking bubble. If you hover over that, that's the chat one. And if you need to send us a message at all, either Cantor Braun or me, or if there's something else happening that needs quick attention, just let us know. You can put that in the chat box, and together we will, Cantor Braun and I will hope to address it. But we're so glad that you're here this morning. Shabbat Shalom. We hope that that the start of Shabbat last night came in beautifully, and with each new day we find our way anew and find our meaning anew as we're moving through this uncharted time that is worrisome and for us to acknowledge. And at the same time, I don't know about you, but I have seen some of the most extraordinary gifts of kindness and thoughtfulness and menschlichkeit that could be imagined. And we could have an entire, I think, session on just that. But I thought that I would start just before Cantor Braun begins us in song, start with a beautiful passage by Rabbi Rami Shapiro, which you've heard before probably, called Prayer for God's Love, which reads, "We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending loved." Please join us if you will. You will find, you should have on your screen as we begin, if you're working in your Siddur, it's page 192. If you're going to join us on the screen, Cantor Braun has put together a beautiful set of slides for us. We'll start in song. As we do, we give thanks for our spaces, our respective spaces, and this our communal space as we sing Matovu.
Thanks. Everybody can see the screen, the share. Matovu, Matovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenatecha Yisrael, Matovu, Matovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenatecha Yisrael, Vani berov chasdecha, avo beitecha, eshtachavel chal gadshecha, beiratecha, matovu, matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenatecha Yisrael, Adonai ahavti me'on beitecha, u'mekom mishkan kivodecha, mekom mishkan kivodecha, vani eshtahaveh ve'ekra Evrecha lifnei Adonai, osi matovu, matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenatecha Yisrael, vani tefilati lecha, Adonai et ratzon, Elohim berov chasdecha, Elohim berov chasdecha, Haneni be'emet ishecha, matovu, matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenatecha Yisrael, mishkenatecha Yisrael.
We take a moment now, and while we are hearing so much about our bodies, about the risks our bodies can endure right now, and the caution we must take with our own bodies. We say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et ha'adam b'chokhmah, uvaravo nikavim nikavim, chalim chalim. Join me, please, as we give thanks and say, praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, rofecho basar umafli la'asot. Let us take a deep breath in when we are so aware of both our bodies and our breath and the space that is between our respective bodies and our breath. I invite you to take one, and take one from the very bottom of your being and have it draw all the way up and through, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And know in that breath, in that outtake, in that intake and that outtake, that the soul that we have been given is pure, that it sustains us, that we breathe it in and we share it out by way of our breath. Take a couple of breaths and then we'll sing Elohai Neshama together.
Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Ja, die, 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 die. Just try with me. Ja, die, 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 die. Neshama, neshama, shenatata mi, tehorahi, tehorahi. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la.
We share this passage together as we read the words. I find by experience, not by reasoning, but by my own discovery that God is indeed near me, and I can be near God at all times. I cannot explain it, but I am as sure of my experience as I am of the fact that I live and love. I cannot explain how I've come to live and love, but I know I do. In the same way, I know I am in contact with God. Join us, please, as we continue with the singing of Psalm 150, and we give thanks and we give praise. Hallelujah.
So you can clap your hands, you can sing. I see your mouth moving. You can snap your fingers, do anything to get you in the mood. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Thanks for the tambourine. That's great.
Yes, yes, it's great to see a tambourine. Even if we can't hear it, it's great to feel it. We say, praised are you, sovereign of wonders, crowned in adoration, delighted in song, eternal majesty. Join us, please, as we continue now with the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadar shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'amar berach hirotei v'amlich malchotei b'chayechon u'b'yamechon u'chayedecha b'it Yisrael b'gala u'bizman kariv v'imeru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'la'almei almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitrama v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dikudesha
Rihu.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'hemata damiran be'alema v'imeru
Amen. We'll continue now as we turn to our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. It can be found on page 226 if you're using the Siddur, or you can join us online as well. In body or in spirit, we invite you, please, to rise.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
We say our world is beyond our knowledge, greater than our understanding. Help us, God, to accept what we cannot understand, to love the beauty of creation without trying to control it. Teach us to bend with life, to repair what we can repair, to live with our questions, and to rejoice in your wonders. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer Hamerot. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of heavenly lights. We continue as we dig deep and we share our love and we pay special attention while we are so very stretched at this time for how deeply we are loved and have the capacity to love. As we say, praised be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed.
And please be seated and join us in the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך בכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשובך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We say, Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, the pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame. Stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and we rejoice.
Ya bye bye bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam. Ya bye bye bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba bye bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba ba bim bam. Mi chamocha bali Madonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Noradilat hosefele, noradilat hosefele, shira hadasha, shipu geulim, l'shimcha, hosefat hayam, yachat kulam, hodu v'himlichu, ve'ameru, ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Ya bye bye bim bim bam, ya bye bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bam. Sur Israel, kuma bezrat Israel, ufereinu mecha Yehuda ve'Israel. Golein Adonai Tzebaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Gol Yisrael.
We are taught that we should pray as if everything depends on God and act as if everything depends on you. Rabbi Ami taught us that a person's prayer is not acceptable unless one's heart is in one's hands. We are so mindful of where our hands ought to be right now and where they ought not to be. Our prayers are meant to be our hearts. Our yearning is meant to be lifted forward and given to God. We turn now to our tefillah in body or in spirit. We invite you, please, to rise.
Adonai sefata tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imateinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור וחנרה, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גילה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחי הכל, אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד חג השם, מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחייך הכל ברחמים רבים, תומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוא הארץ כי ידירנו אדוני, אדוננו מהתיר שמך בארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אלוהת אלוהינו, ואבינו מלכנו, ומושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
And please be seated. Let us continue now with the singing of, I think somebody is perhaps not muted. Okay, hopefully that will work better. We'll continue now with the singing of Vishamru, which can be found on the screen or on page 250.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת, שבת, שבת וינפש, שבת, שבת וינפש, שבת, שבת וינפש.
Let us take this moment to offer thanks, O God, for the Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. We continue now as we hope and pray together and say these words, offer these words. Baruch atah Adonai, machazir shchinato l'tzion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Let us, in our time of thanksgiving, when we say modim anachnu lach, offer thanks and deepness of gratitude for all the things that we have during this time of stretch, this time of worry, this time of scarcity, and this time of fragile health. Let us be thankful for that which we do have, that which we are able to do. As we say, Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lahodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Our prayers for peace always, our prayers for peace as we know that they come from on high and know that they come at the same time and are both the energy around us, the energy within us, and the energy and the hope and prayer for peace that we have to be among us as we continue with our prayer, our song for peace.
Sim shalom tova ubracha hein v'hesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yisrael amecha barcheinu yatzreinu kulanu kechad be'or panecha ki be'or panecha natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu
Sim Shalom.
Sim shalom tova uvracha hein v'hesed v'rachamim yarachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yisrael amecha torat chaim ve'achavat chesed ve'achavat chesed u'tzedaka uvracha ve'rachamim v'chaim b'shalom.
Sim Shalom.
Sim shalom tova uvracha ein v'hesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yisrael amecha v'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
Sim Shalom.
שים שלום טובה וברכה הן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל עמך. And we say,
Let us, let us, each of us, in our own space, in our own way, with our own need, take a few moments of silence, of prayer, of meditation.
May the visions of my dreams and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto you, be acceptable unto you, my God and my Redeemer.
There are so many now who are needing prayers for healing, prayers for wholeness, prayers for strength, prayers for endurance, for courage, for care, and so many who are struggling and who need our collective prayers, who need our words, our thoughts, and our feelings, even if they are not with us today on this call. The efficacy of prayer, we know, is absolutely understood to have benefit and love and care. And we say, Mishaberach Avotenu v'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et Acholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are struggling in our own community. We are at this time holding in our prayers Thomas DiMatteo, Mark Friedman, Elizabeth Friedman, Dorothy Jacobson, Shana Esther Bat Ruchel, Chris Sura, Joel Shamaskin, Chayanecha Bat Rivalea, Simon Brightman, Barbara Baer, Katriel Barachia Ben Herschel Laser Vashoshana, Michael Weistreich, Sally Graff, Sam Webby, Sarah Bat Avraham Bisara, William Fawcett Jr., Alan Skirker, Muriel Steinberg, Chaim Ben Sarah, Dina Yehoshua, Jeffrey Sussman, Laura Braun, Sima Ruchel Bat Esther Fadel, Margaret Canner, Barbara Phillips, Leslie Locketts, Bobby Johnson, Chaim Ben Zalman Befela, Shulamit Buzo. And please, if you would, share the names of those for whom you are praying at this time as well in the chat box, and we will share those names aloud with you. Jerry, we hope and pray that you are well. We want to also add to our prayers for wellness and health Joel Brill, Leslie Frank, Linda Demi, Zipola, Patty Newman, Sandra, Gabriel Erger, Sydney Struthers, Henry Gleber, Joshua Ocampo, Eileen Finkelstein, Mort Skirball, we also want to include in our prayers those who are tending to, those who are helping, those who are caring, and those who are providing much needed services at this time. May the one who blessed and let our forebears give countenance unto those who provide help for the ill and troubled among us. May they be filled with fortitude and courage, endowed with sympathy and compassion as they give strength to those at their side. May they fight against despair and continue to find within themselves the will to reach out to those in need. And in their love of others, may they feel the blessing of community and the blessing of renewed faith. As together we say, Amen. And may the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all health, where possible, to be restored, for people to be strengthened and revived and renewed and supported. May God send renewal of body and of spirit, and let us join together in saying, Amen.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing.
Let us turn now to words of strength, words of inspiration, words that have us thinking as we turn to Torah study. Cantor Braun, I'm going to ask actually for you to stop the screen share. I can do that, I think. I can do that. Okay, yeah. And I'm going to put up our text. It is, I aspire to put up our text that we are looking at today. Maybe not. Hold on 1 second. Definitely have our text. Just give us 1 quick second. Can you see that text or no? No? Not yet. Cantor Braun, I think. Cantor Braun, I think you need to stop your screen share. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. There you go. Do you have the text? Yes, good. Okay. So we are this morning reading from Parshat Tzav. This comes to us, we are right in the book of Leviticus. We'll be reading from the beginning, chapter 6. You'll see just from the brief summary in front of us. Here we are in a section of sacrifice and detailed sacrifice. We really get into, it gets very granular for us, talking about how the priests are to offer 5 sacrifices in particular, around which our prayer service, by the way, is built. Some of the limitations that are imposed upon the priests, and really details about how Aaron and his sons are supposed to prepare the holy space in which we are to connect with God. So I'm hoping that what you see in front of you is on the left-hand side of your page, the Hebrew text on the right-hand side of your page, some of the English of our text. Is that what's appearing? Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Good. Okay. Good. So we will, Cantor Braun, I'm hoping will lead us in the bracha, and then after that, if we have one person who would like to read the English that is found on the right page, I will ask you to unmute yourself. The one person, we'll see how that goes. We'll do it on the honor system. Let's say the bracha together, and then we'll go to the English of 6-1.
Baruch hu Adonai habarach, Baruch le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
This is the ritual of the burnt offering. The burnt offering itself shall remain where it is, burned upon the altar all night until morning, while the fire on the altar is kept going. The priest shall dress in linen raiment with linen breeches next to his body, and he shall take up the ashes to which the fire has reduced the burnt offering on the altar and place them beside the altar. He shall then take off his vestments and put on other vestments and carry the ashes outside the camp to a pure place. The fire on the altar shall be kept burning, not to go out. Every morning the priest shall feed wood to it, lay out the burnt offering on it, and turn into smoke the fat parts of the offering of well-being. A perpetual fire shall be kept burning on the altar, not to go out. And this is the ritual of the meal offering. Aaron's sons shall present it before the Eternal in front of the altar. A handful of the choice flour and oil of the meal offering shall be taken from it, with all the frankincense that is on the meal offering. And this token portion shall be turned into smoke on the altar, as a pleasing odor to the Eternal. What is left of it shall be eaten by Aaron and his sons. It shall be eaten as unleavened cakes in the sacred precinct. They shall eat it in the enclosure of the tent of meeting. It shall not be baked with leaven. I have given it as their portion from my offering by the fire. It is most holy, like the purgation offering and the reparation offering. Only the males among Aaron's descendants may eat of it, as their due for all time throughout the ages from the Eternal's offerings by fire. Anything that touches these shall become holy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So here we are at Shabbat HaGadol, right? We find ourselves at the Shabbat just before Passover. We see that we have some celebration around this particular Shabbat. Rebecca Mazel Tov, that's very exciting. This was historically, as many of you know, not just Rebecca's, but the anniversary of her bat mitzvah, for which that is reason to celebrate enough. But this is the Shabbat that precedes Passover, in which typically a very big sermon is given, meant to inspire and teach people and get them motivated for Passover. And here we are really getting into some very interesting and thought-provoking learning around the sacrifices. And we've talked over the last couple of weeks as we've gone into the book of Leviticus about the concept of sacrifices and the centrality in the temple cult around sacrifices, and how this was meant to bring us together as a community, and how detailed everything was. The kinds of sacrifices people brought, the way they were brought, the way the high priests, the priests could make these offerings on our behalf. How the root of the word for korban, the root for sacrifice itself, comes from the root word likarev, to draw nearer, and also is attached to the word relations, like our relationships, who we are connected to. So we bring all of these together and know that the centrality of the temple is actually meant to for us to be understood as a microcosm of our own spiritual life. That the altar is supposed to serve as a kind of focal point for us, and that we might understand it, another wrote, as like the heart, right, with the fire beneath it being its passion. Another friend shared with me a book about a wonderful set of readings about our pilot light, about how we might understand the fire on the altar, kind of like our pilot light, and that it always needs to be on and it always needs to be tended in order for us to flourish and to stay in relationship with one another and with God. That this was why the temple cult, the temple and all its rituals around it were so detailed, and that even we learn from this passage, Herb, that you just read for us, that even a ritually impure priest, right, one who had touched the sacrifice and rendering him impure, even that priest was responsible for the temple functions, for keeping the fire going. That 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Shabbat included, the fire on the altar needed to be kept. So how do we understand this, right? How do we understand this notion of the fire, no matter what, needs to be kept, right? So we know, right, when we're in our sanctuary, we know about our eternal light, right? We see the eternal light. It's a focal point for many, right? That is reminiscent of the fire on the altar that's always meant to keep going. We know that no matter in high times or in low times, in regular weekday times and Shabbat times, that the fire is meant to keep going, that we are intended to keep a constant fire going. And at the same time that we're reading this, we know, right, you see at the top of the page, it says tzav, right? And right below it, it's right beside it, it says command. You see the English where I'm looking? I'm going to unmute everybody because I would love to hear what your thoughts are just before we get to the bottom part of the text. So I'm going to ask you, if you're on a phone, to mute yourself so that we don't have any, like on a speaker. Mute yourself if we can hear your back. If you've got background noise, I've unmuted everybody. So some people have phones or TVs on in the background. If you would mute those, please, or mute yourself.
I did. It's muted.
Okay. And let us know
on society and the effect on
let us know what you
that we're dealing with.
Friends, somebody's got a TV
so yes, I want it over. if there was anything I could do to accelerate
Someone's
getting
got
it
Governor
over,
Cuomo on. Let's,
I would.
we all want to hear what he has to say. But I'm going to
Some
ask,
ways I
please,
want to
that
get
you
apex. I want
mute.
to get on the other side of that apex, and let's just slide down that mountain.
Okay.
On the other hand, we have to be ready
Okay,
for the
hold on
fight.
one
We have
second.
to handle that fight.
Okay.
And that's where we are. So what do we do?
Okay. Well, we'll try that again. I have muted everybody, much to my chagrin. I've muted everybody, but I'm going to do what we did in Torah study, which worked very well, which is I'll ask you to unmute yourself only when you want to speak, and let us know what you're thinking. If you're on a laptop or on a computer, you can hold your space bar down, and that will allow you to speak. Otherwise, please just unmute yourself when you're ready to talk. But I am curious to know what you are thinking about in terms of just the beginning part of our portion, just the beginning part of the keeping the fire burning, and this notion of being commanded, right? The root of tzav comes from, right? We know that is the word that is found within the word mitzvah, commandedness, right? That we are commanded. Aaron and his sons were commanded for this burnt offering. So what are you thinking around this particular passage? What has caught your attention so far?
The tending of the fire and the keeping of the fire on is a perpetual thing. It's a perpetual remembrance of God and our obligation to God, and the maintaining of the fire and the cleaning of it every morning by the priest, and the putting on of new items, new burnable items on it, is part of that. It's something we can't walk away from, because if we don't do it, it'll go out. So it's an interesting concept. It's something that you have to keep going. It's something that you have to replenish every day, every morning, and it's something that you have to tend. So it's a way of being observant, and a requirement for your being observant.
Right. And agreed, her very, very nice, right? It is required. Even the priests, right, who are meant for holiness, even they, right? I've read some commentaries that say even they were responsible for the schmutz, right? They had to, right? They were responsible for cleaning the ashes at times. Even they weren't beyond tending to what was needed, right? Even they weren't precluded from taking care of the space. We know that the fire came down from on high, right? The fire that took the offerings, right? That came down from heaven, consumed the offerings, were brought onto the altar. So we have this imagery, right? For those of us who are visual learners, right? The way the altar must have looked is not for the faint of heart, right? But we can imagine that if the priests brought their offerings and a fire came down from on high, from the heavens, and consumed it, and we are at the same time responsible for building and maintaining a fire from below, from doing our part. There are those who have thought that the altar was actually a meeting place between heaven and earth, between human and God, for us to meet. That the fire came down from on high, that we offered it up from the bottom, and that together in that space in between is where the holy takes place. And I thought that imagery was very powerful as well. Tell me what else you're thinking in terms of this passage. What else has caught your attention, Liz?
I'm looking. Oh.
I'm struck by the notion of continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about the time that we are going through right now, and how easy it is to feel isolated, and how important it is for me, and I imagine other people who are on this call, to feel that certain things go on no matter what, that we come together and we pray together, that we sing together, that we stay connected no matter what. Somehow we manage it, and that's so very important.
Yeah, right. Beautiful that we tend to our earthly, the good from the fire that we maintain at this time, right? The warmth, the light, the connectivity, that the temple was meant to be a convening place, right? And then our microcosm of the temple, right? Our own synagogues, right? Our facsimile of the temple, right? And then our own selves, right? How do we, right? So it's kind of on the meta level when we look at what happened in temple times, and then on our communal level, how we preserve that light. Herb, you also spoke about it, right? Our responsibility, our sense of obligation to do so on our communal level. And then the rabbis go further, and they ask a little bit further down. Luzzatto in particular talks about our ability to love is tested in times of trial, in stress and an emergency, and how we keep our struggle to keep our fires, our respective and personal fires lit when there are mitigating circumstances and worrisome circumstances around, how we tend to our own personal, right when we talk about our mikdash me'at, our sanctuary, our own altar, how we keep our own fires burning and stoked and tended to during times of difficulty. Right? There is that as well, right? We look at all three of those levels together. What else are you thinking about?
I just had a,
I'm struck. Oh,
You
I'm
should
struck.
not watch the news because the news is profane. It's hard to be holy when you listen to the profane news. You should not watch the news during this holiday.
don't do that. Take it
Right.
off.
Right. How it's such a good point, Mike, that you bring up, right? How you preserve your own sense of holy when and light, right? Light when there's so much coming at us, right? Agreed. Rebecca, go ahead.
I'm struck by the description of how the priest changes his clothing and puts on. It sounds like PPE.
Right.
And you have to use the proper PPE to tend to someone, because that's what has to be done. You have to keep tending it.
Beautiful. And only you could say something like that, but yes, or any other, doctors on the line, right? That, how profound it is that they needed to be properly attired to do the work that they are called to do, that you are called to do, all of it. All of the work that is needed to be done, and to be done properly and well, and with a sense of light.
But in a sense, it also protects, because wasn't the priestly garb supposed to protect Aaron and his sons from the presence from being consumed?
Yes.
So it's protection for them, so they can protect everyone else.
Yes. Very, 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 very important note. Yes. What else are people thinking?
This is before prayer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the beginning of a morning prayer or a morning ritual. I mean, I see this as laying tefillin at the beginning of the day. Not tefillin. So what the priest is doing is doing some sort of ritual on behalf of the community.
Right.
And later, I think this goes to our having to do morning prayer and prepare for morning prayer.
Right. The different kinds of offerings that were made on the altar gave us our structure for our prayer service. Each of our prayers, each of our components of prayers are modeled after the kinds of sacrifices, the categories of sacrifices that were offered. So that was our early text, our early experience rather, that gave form and shape to how we pray and why we pray, was to be modeled after the sacrifices and the system that was in place at that time. Absolutely. What else are you thinking about? You can't help but notice as you go down a little bit, right, that there looks like a nod towards Passover, doesn't there? In the way that they made their offering, their meal offering, right? Did anybody notice that without any leaven? Yes, did you notice that? That's happening as well in our section, right? And we're taught in the rigors of Leviticus, and the rigors of do this, don't do that, wear this, don't wear that, offer this kind of sacrifice, but not that. Only this person can do it, but not that. That all of this is to regulate our behaviors. Also a very important text for us to be reading right now in following a system, so that we are in fact taught the right way to do things for both the safety and the security of the community, and for people to be able to, the priests to be able to offer the sacrifices on our behalf. In Sefer HaChinuch, there's a 13th century Spanish text that we're told comes to us from an anonymous author who teaches us that a person's attitudes are molded by his or her behavior. Through good deeds and Torah study, a wicked heart can be changed. We know this, right? And we were actually just kind of looking at this in Ezekiel this morning as well, that our behaviors and the ritualizing of our behaviors, especially now we might add, right, by doing things the way we must, is a way to change our hearts and to change our ways and to change our attitudes and to change our communal well-being, right? This we know very clearly, very clearly. What else are you thinking? Anything else at all from this section of Leviticus?
One of the things, you alluded to this morning at the beginning of Torah study, Rabbi, the notion of caring for one another and so on. We hear so much about people hoarding this and no toilet paper and the masks and the whole thing. And at the same time, on the few times that I've gone out, like to get groceries and stuff, I have been so struck by people's kindness. I unintentionally broke into line because I didn't realize there was a gap in a supermarket line. And then when I realized it, I turned to the person behind me and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she, no, it's fine, it's fine. And it's that kind of behavior that seems, it says something about human nature that's very different than all this hoarding and stuff. And it's just beautiful.
Right, right. We see that everybody is responsible in some way or another for tending to this fire that is needed, right? This communal fire, this altar that is needed for us to be able to find it in ourselves and then to find it for the community, or sometimes the other way around, right? That the community needs instruct how we observe personally, right? And what the relationship is between those, right? And how we best tend to and stoke that fire that is so much needed, so that what God is offering and what we are bringing to the altar together can create this space of sacred, of holy, for us to best encounter the fullness of God. Absolutely, absolutely. Anybody else at all have any final thoughts before we move on? Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for studying some Torah with us. Cantor Braun, I'm hoping that you can help us with the prayer following Torah. Oh, Cantor Braun, I think you are muted. Let's unmute you. Cantor Braun, I think you're unmuted. You're muted still.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thanks for studying Torah with us, everybody. Let us continue as we go to our concluding prayers. We move towards the Aleinu, which you can find on page 586 or on the screen in front of you. And please, in body or in spirit, we invite you to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא שמנו כארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפט האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורר עלינו ככל חמנם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר וחי אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהי אדוני אחד, ושמו
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked. and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, as we remember the far too many right now who are experiencing loss, all of them together, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. And we think of our own loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. During the period of Shloshim, these last 30 days, we are mourning the loss of Natalie Rudin, sister of Dolores Kleinberg, Edith Goldberg, daughter of Ruth Goldberg and Mitch Ehrenberg, Andreas Felder, father of Amelia Julian and Eli Wachsler Felder. We're mourning the loss of Jean Buckman, cousin of Renee Brownstein, and Frances Applebaum, mother of Sandy Frankel. This Shabbat marks a yahrzeit, an anniversary of passing for Saul Babin, Albert D. Berman, Leah Brent, Frederick Delheim, Barnett Freed, Richard Guan, David Jacobs, Milton Jacobson, Anna Joel, Lynn Carrigan, Nathan Kessler, Roberta King, Nancy Klein, Marvin Cooker, Sherman Levy, Evelyn Levine, Irma Rosenthal, Paul Roel, Gloria Sarakin, Richard Schoenfeld, Saul Schutzer, Leonard Shebeck, Sarah Smolowitz, Anita Steinberg, Gordon Wagner, Sharon Wexler, Rose Yaffe, Sephora Zadel, and Ann Zoltak. If there are other names that you would add to either list, or names better spoken aloud by you, please would you take a moment now and let us know in the chat room who else we should be remembering. Mariam Bastovid.
Peter Berg.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories truly be for a blessing as we join together in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu be'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all who mourn, to all Israel in all places. And let us join together in saying, Amen. And please be seated. Please be seated if you were standing. We want to share with you just a few brief announcements. As you at this time know, all of our services and all of our classes and all of our meetings will be available only through Zoom. Just click on the link on our website to be connected. You can also find there a free copy of a Passover Haggadah, and you can follow the directions and snippets or on the website for how to use that. There are more resources coming around Passover for you as well. We want to remind you tonight that there is a very short Havdalah service at 7 p.m. Please join us if you can, and bring your candle and your spices and your wine or your grape juice and join us. Tomorrow morning we have only 10th grade confirmation at 11 and 8th and 9th grade Kesher lunch and learn with Rabbi Silbert at noon. So only those two groups of students will be meeting, 8th and 9th graders in one room and 10th in another. No school for Sprouts through 7th grade. Monday at noon, there is Torah from Sinai, the rabbi's teaching. Wednesday, we have our first Seder, which we hope everybody has a way to observe at home and connect either by phone or Zoom or some other platform with family. And then second day Pesach, We have our morning service at 10:30 where we'll join with Brit Kodesh, and that link is up on our website as well. And then a congregational service at 6 p.m., which we hope you'll join us in celebrating and observing. And then next Friday night, we have our young family service at 5 p.m. That's a change from our normal, and regular Shabbat services at 6 p.m. And then we continue on with Saturday morning, Torah study 9:15, Saturday morning services at 10:30. And then we will have time for movies together. So please, if you haven't had a chance yet to watch The Prince of Egypt, all are welcome, 6:30 next Saturday night. That's a week from today. And we hope that you will join us. Let us know by either unmuting yourself, holding your space bar down, or putting something in the chat box if you have any announcements for us at all.
Today, if you go to YouTube, they have Joseph and his many-colored coat. You want to see the one by Donny Osmond. We watched it yesterday. It was really terrific. It's only going to be on today.
Great.
So do that. Also on the Temple Next Gen page, I posted another one. The British theater is showing plays for free also, one a week. So it's very entertaining. They're excellent productions, and I think you'll enjoy them enormously.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else have any news that we should know about? Anything that would be good for us to hold in our hearts and either celebrate or to think about or to help support?
Actually, if you go to the Hartman Institute webpage, those people who have taken Hartman classes before, they are offering a free class, a 10-session class on their most recent iEngage, which is their video series. And it starts in a couple of weeks, right after Pesach, I think. And it's an amazing opportunity because it's very rare that sort of thing is without charge. So just something to keep in mind.
Yes, thank you. There are some wonderful learning opportunities out there. As we look at silver linings, we see the plethora of offerings that have moved online. We're thankful for all of them. Can't too many to list, but do be in touch if you're looking for something and haven't been able to find it. We're thankful for those who have joined us from other places this morning. Know that you're always welcome, and we're glad to have you here. Jerry and Mike, we're delighted to know that this is your 9-month wedding anniversary, that it's coming up. And we wish you all good things and good health as you move forward. Everybody shares your deep desire for things to be back to normal soon. I think we are all excited for that. Join us, if you will, please, in our closing song. Gesher Tsar Me'od, the entire world is but a narrow bridge, and the most important is not to be afraid. Words for us to heed and hold, and to try to live best we can. And we invite you, please, to join us in singing Gesher Tsar Me'od.
Olam kulo gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod. Olam kulo gesher tsar mehod, gesher tsar mehod. No
offer deep thanks to each of you for being here. I'll unmute everybody in just 1 minute so you can have a Zoom neg, as they're called, right? So that you can have an oneg and a Zoom chance to talk to each other. I want to also, in addition to thanking you for being here and for all your love and support for everybody, for our community, for the community at large, I also want to thank Cantor Braun for the beautiful slides that she has put together for our services, which really convey so very much, lift our words off the page into beautiful and spiritual and another whole way to access our prayers in a most lovely way. So my thanks to my colleague and friend Cantor Braun, and I share these words by way of closing benediction. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God grant strength to all people. May God bless people with good health, with patience, with love, and with peace as we all of us join together. I will unmute you, just wait, as we all of us join together in saying,
Shabbat shalom.
Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Beautiful slides, Cantor. Thank you, Cantor, and thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
We miss you. Mwah.
Rabbi.
Have a good Shabbat and a happy week.
Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you either here or at Havdalah tonight or wherever our paths can next meet. We're wishing everybody good, peaceful, and healthy day
Shabbat
today.
shalom.
Shabbat
Everybody stay
Bye-bye.
healthy.
All right.
night, 7 p.m. Oh, miss everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Hi, boys.
Marilyn Rosen left the meeting. Okay.
Yeah, we
Hi, Liz.
all learning how
Hi.
I don't know how to get
How
out
are
of
you?
Shabbos.
I'm great. How are you?
Well, we're still waiting for a test. I don't have any information yet.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Everybody stay healthy and hang in there.
If you bring my...
Boys, have fun today with Mom. I love you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
How the heck do I get out?
Healing to you, Michelle.
Shabbat shalom.
Don't forget to call me. Michael, say Cantor Braun, Shabbat shalom.
Cantor Braun, Shabbat shalom.
Michael,
Shabbat shalom.
Everyone.
Everybody, Shabbat shalom. Sending a lot of healing and good vibes.
hey,
Bye.
Cantor Braun, don't forget to call me. Love
See you
you.
I have to go make donuts now.
Hey, send me some.
Right?
Send me some this way.
I never made them, so don't. So I don't know how to come out. I'm not such a good baker.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. I'm gonna try. I'm just wasting ingredients.
If they work, give us a recipe, me and Mike, so we'll have it.
Yes, definitely, if they work.
Keep the boys happy. You know what?
If they work.
Don't forget to call me. Call me too.
Arlene, nice to see you. How are you? Arlene Weisenberg, nice to see you. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. I'm gonna head out, but I wish everybody well.
We love you.
Mwah to everybody. Bye-bye.
See you tonight.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Cantor Braun, don't forget to call me.
Okay.
Happy Shabbat.
Wait,
everyone.
how do you take this off now? Hi.
That's what I want to
Happy
know.
Shabbat, everyone.
Okay, hi. How do you
How to get it off?
What do you want to do?
I want to turn it off. No, I keep going back to preview. Ay.
You need to find a way to relax. Take a nap, take a bath, listen to some music.
Great idea. I'll clean out the fridge.
I said relax.
I don't know how to get out of Zoom.